I had just finished baking his favorite cookies, the ones with double chocolate chunks and sea salt, when I heard her sobbing from the hallway. Her knees buckled at the threshold of our bedroom. Tears stained her cheeks, and in her shaking hands, she held a letter. A letter I thought was mine to write. But she got to it first. She accused him of cheating. She claimed her world had fallen apart. She begged me to believe she was the real victim. And like a fool in love, I did. But what she never expected was that I would find the hidden messages she sent to another man from the same bed where she had cried into my chest. She cried about being cheated on. But she was the one cheating. And when I tell you how it all unraveled, you might just hold your breath the same way I did when I opened her secret journal. To all my returning viewers, thank you so much for keeping this channel alive. You all are the reason I pour my soul into these stories. And to all my new visitors, thank you for stopping by. If you have not subscribed yet, I am begging you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. It is the fuel that keeps this channel going. Please do not forget to drop your thoughts in the comments after this episode. I read every single one of them. My name is Danielle Moore. I am 31 years old, born and raised in Colorado Springs. I work as an event coordinator for a boutique hotel, and until 8 months ago, I was engaged to marry a man I believed was handcrafted just for me. His name is Travis Hayes. A tall, blue-eyed construction manager with a perfect jawline and a voice that could melt iron. We met at a fitness expo 4 years ago. It was cliché. He bumped into me, spilled my smoothie, apologized profusely, then bought me a new one. We clicked. Fast. I thought he was the kind of man who protected, provided, and professed. And he did all three, until things started unraveling in the most unholy way. There was another woman involved. Her name was Layla Jensen. She was the one crying on my floor. And she was the one he was cheating with, or so I thought. Until I discovered it was Layla who had a second man. And she was sleeping with him while telling me Travis had broken her heart. It started with a phone call on a Thursday evening. I had just returned from a client meeting and was massaging my feet on the couch when Layla called. Her voice cracked like she had been screaming or crying. She said, "Danielle, he cheated. Travis cheated on me. I do not know how to process this." I froze. Not because she said he cheated, but because she said, "on me." Now, here is what you need to know. Layla was my best friend since college. We lived 3 blocks apart and had shared everything from dorm food to diaries. She had even been my maid of honor in planning, though we had not walked the aisle yet. She helped design our invitations. She helped choose the lace on my dress. So, to hear her say that my man cheated on her, not on me, sent an icy fire down my spine. I asked her what she meant. She immediately switched tones. "I meant you. Danielle. I am sorry. I am not thinking clearly." But something in her voice did not sit right. I told her to come over. She did. 30 minutes later, she was at our front door wearing oversized sunglasses and a hoodie, like someone trying to hide from themselves. She sat on my floor. She sobbed into my throw pillows. She showed me screenshots. Pictures of Travis at a bar. A brunette with her back turned sitting next to him. "I followed him," she confessed. "I had this gut feeling. I know I should have told you sooner, but I could not. I thought maybe I was overreacting." I stared at the image. It was from behind. The woman's face was not clear. The man could have been Travis. Or someone who just looked like him. But I believed her. Because she cried. And when women cry, especially the ones you have loved since college, you trust them. You lean in. You give them your empathy. And that is exactly what I did. After that night, things with Travis began to shift. He was not the same. He was quiet. He would leave early and come home late. He would avoid my eyes, but not in the way that screamed guilt. More like shame. When I confronted him casually, asking about that bar in the picture, he said, "I was with Mason and Troy that night. I do not even know the girl in that photo. She just sat next to us." He did not get angry. He did not fumble. Still, I did not push. Because I was distracted. Layla was falling apart, or so she made me think. She would call me every other day, crying over betrayal, about how men could not be trusted, and how some women get everything, while others are always left broken. She made herself the broken one. She made me the lucky one. But here is the plot twist: she was not broken. She was busy. Busy seeing someone else behind my back and behind her own tears. Travis had gone out of town for a company retreat. I decided to do a deep clean of the house. It was a random Friday, the kind you spend in sweatpants and an old playlist. Layla had been staying over a lot. She claimed her apartment made her feel trapped. I had no reason to say no. She was hurting, right? As I cleaned the guest room, I found her notebook under the bed. At first, I thought it was just doodles. But then I flipped a few pages in. My hands started to tremble. Last night with C was fire. His hands, his mouth, the way he whispers that I am his. I almost feel guilty, but not enough to stop. C. I kept reading. Danny asked if I was okay again. Poor thing. She has no idea. If she ever finds out that the man I cry about is not the man I cheat with, everything falls apart. My stomach turned. I wanted to scream. I wanted to set the journal on fire. But I kept reading. C gave me a bracelet. I told Danny it was from a friend. I am a monster. But I have never felt more alive. She had been lying to me. Fabricating betrayal to mask her own. And what broke me most was that the man she cheated with was my own cousin. You think you know betrayal, until you catch your best friend and your cousin exchanging nudes while sitting on your living room couch. I wish I were exaggerating. But no amount of storytelling could do justice to the reality I faced that day. The night I read Layla's journal, I barely slept. I lay in my own bed, frozen and furious, while she snored softly from the guest room like nothing in the world was wrong. She was just down the hallway, under my roof, on my electricity, drinking my almond milk, wearing my old college hoodie, and laughing behind my back. But I did not confront her. Not yet. I needed more. Because one thing I have learned from heartbreak: confrontation without proof only gives liars a stage to perform. So the next morning, I did what I had never done before. I turned into someone I did not recognize. I became quiet. Calculating. And I installed a spy app on the iPad I used to let Layla borrow when she needed to work remotely. It was still synced to her iCloud account. She never logged out. That was the beginning of the end. 3 days after planting the spy app, I received the first notification. She had uploaded a video to her iCloud. The title, Candlelight for C. My heart jumped into my throat. My hands were trembling as I opened the file. And what I saw made me fall to the kitchen floor. It was not just romantic. It was intimate. It was a video of Layla, in my silk robe, lighting candles in a room that looked eerily familiar. Because it was. It was my guest room. My home. She had turned my safe space into a love nest. The video ended with her whispering into the camera, "See you tonight, C." She kissed the lens. And walked away. That was when I started crying. But not the pretty kind of crying where you wipe a tear and sniff quietly. I sobbed like a woman watching her entire reality unravel in real time. Then I made a decision. I would not say a word. Not until I saw the full picture. That evening, she left for her yoga class. But her iPad, still synced to her phone, pinged again. A message from Cameron. Cameron Jennings. My first cousin. He and I had grown up together like siblings. He used to protect me from bullies in middle school. He once punched a boy for calling me a nerd. He was the only family member who cried when I got engaged to Travis, telling me, "You are the last good one in the family. I just want you to be safe and happy." And now? Now he was sending Layla shirtless pictures with the caption, "Thinking of last night. Your body is still on my lips." She replied, "Danny has no idea. I almost feel guilty. But you taste better than my regret." I stopped breathing. I stared at the screen like it was a foreign object. And I realized, this betrayal was not just physical. It was spiritual. Emotional. Surgical. Two people I loved deeply were using me as the camouflage for their disgusting affair. The next weekend, I invited both of them for dinner. Yes. I invited her and him into my home, where I lit candles, cooked pasta, and poured wine like nothing was wrong. I wore a red silk dress. I smiled. I laughed. They ate my food, praised my cooking, and exchanged subtle glances across the table, probably thinking I was too clueless to notice. And the whole time, the spy app was still running. Still syncing. Still feeding me every message, every breath they shared behind my back. I excused myself after dessert. Went to my room. Opened the synced file. There it was. "Layla, Danny looks gorgeous tonight. I almost feel like she knows something. Cameron, she does not. Relax. She's too nice. That's her problem. Layla, God. I feel dirty. But I love you. I do. Cameron, then come to my place after dinner. Tell her you need to clear your head. Layla, say less." That was it. I was done. I had all the proof I needed. Now it was my turn. The following Monday, I printed out all their messages, screenshots, videos, everything. I placed them into a cream envelope with red trim. Labeled it, "To whom it may concern." Then I sent it to Cameron's girlfriend, yes, the one he was still, technically, dating. Her name was Julia. She had messaged me once months ago about her gut feeling, but apologized later, saying she probably overthought it. I had told her she was being paranoid. Turns out, she was right. She received the envelope. Then she sent me a single message, "Thank you. It is over. You are not alone in this." Next, I printed the same documents and slid them under Layla's apartment door. No notes. No explanations. Just truth. Raw and bleeding. That same night, I went to stay at a hotel. Alone. I needed silence. I needed my soul to stop screaming. 3 days later, chaos broke loose. Layla called me 37 times. She messaged things like, "Please, it is not what you think. You do not understand. You were never supposed to find out. He meant nothing." And finally, "Are you happy now? You destroyed me." Oh, the irony. I destroyed her. She had cried about being cheated on, while sleeping with my cousin. She had used my trust as a doormat and dared to act like I was the villain. A week after the dust settled, I received a card in the mail. It was from Cameron's mother, my aunt. She had no idea what happened. The card read, "Save the date, Cameron and Layla are engaged." I laughed. I laughed so hard I nearly collapsed in the hallway of my apartment. The woman who cried about betrayal had slept her way into my family. And now she wanted to marry into it. Sometimes you do not have to shout to make them bleed. When I opened that ivory envelope and read the words, "Cameron and Layla are engaged," something inside me died quietly. And something else. Something far more dangerous, was born. It was no longer about heartbreak. It was not even about betrayal. It was about justice. Raw. Beautiful. Calculated justice. So I dressed my pain in satin, painted my intentions in calm, and started planning my final appearance in their lives. I was not going to scream. I was not going to cry. I was going to make them remember. Their engagement party was set to take place in a lakeside event hall, ironically, the same hall Travis and I had reserved before our wedding plans collapsed. Cameron's mother, my aunt, bless her clueless heart, had spared no expense. Custom floral arrangements. Champagne towers. Live acoustic music. Everyone who mattered in our family and circle would be there. Including me, if I dared to show up. And oh, I did not just show up. I stole the entire night. I stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling fan. Every part of me wanted to expose them with a public speech. I had written 4 different versions of it, each more venomous than the last. But something in my soul whispered, no. Do not make this about pain. Make it about power. So I tore up the speeches. Instead, I went shopping. And I bought the most daring emerald green dress I had ever worn in my life. Backless. Form-fitting. Pure class, laced with danger. I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered. This is not for them. This is for you. The venue sparkled like something out of a luxury bridal magazine. String lights swayed in the evening breeze. Guests wore pastels. Everyone was glowing with excitement. Except me. I was radiating something else entirely, intent. As I walked in, heads turned. I heard gasps. Someone even whispered. Is that Danielle? I thought she and Layla had a falling out. Layla saw me first. Her face stiffened. Cameron, who stood beside her in a cream tux, followed her eyes and froze. Their bodies betrayed them before they could even fake a smile. I did not walk up to them. I walked past them. Gracefully. I greeted their parents. I sipped champagne. And then I made my move. I had wrapped the envelope in black velvet, placed it inside a Tiffany blue gift bag, and labeled it. For the happy couple, a keepsake to remember where you came from. Inside the envelope? Printed screenshots of their intimate messages. A flash drive with their cloud-synced videos. The page from Layla's journal where she called me, the idiot who still makes her coffee. I handed the bag to the event planner. Please give this to them during the toasts, I said softly. It is from me. They will understand. She nodded, completely unaware of the storm she was about to unleash. When the toasts began, I stood silently near the back of the hall. People raised their glasses. The planner walked over to the couple and handed the bag to Layla, smiling warmly. Layla, already buzzing with champagne, opened it. She froze. Cameron looked over her shoulder. Their smiles vanished. Layla's hands trembled. Cameron's jaw tightened. They looked around, like children caught in a lie, and their eyes finally met mine. I raised my glass. Tipped it. And walked out. No words. No theatrics. Just a knowing smirk. 2 hours later, my phone exploded. Texts. Missed calls. Voicemails. Cameron. What the hell is wrong with you? Layla. How could you be so cruel? That was supposed to be our day. Julia, Cameron's ex. You are a goddess. If you ever need a friend, I am here. Travis even reached out. I heard what happened. Proud of you. I never knew they would stoop so low. I did not respond to any of them. They did not deserve my words. They had already received my truth, and that was far more powerful. Cameron and Layla did not break up. At least, not immediately. They tried to save face. Tried to paint me as vengeful, as if exposing deceit was worse than committing it. But the damage had been done. Their reputations were fractured. Some friends distanced themselves. Cameron's girlfriend, Julia, moved out of state. Layla's job at a nonprofit got rocky after word spread. And me? I healed. Months passed. Seasons changed. And I began to feel free. Not because they were punished, but because I finally understood the kind of peace that comes after choosing yourself. I no longer check their social media. I do not care who they blame. Because I know my truth. I love them deeply. And they betrayed me savagely. But I walked out of it whole. Smarter. Stronger. Softer, too, but not in the way that makes you weak. I became soft like fire, beautiful to look at, but dangerous if touched the wrong way. If you are listening to this, and you have ever been the fool, the one who trusted, forgave, excused, and absorbed everyone else's guilt, this part is for you. You are not weak for loving people. You are not naive for believing in them. But you are unstoppable when you finally decide to rise from the wreckage and become the storm they never saw coming. Do not chase apologies. Do not wait for their guilt. Let your healing speak for itself. Just like mine did.